taught me how to live. Daddy taught me how to give. Both of them had their own sins. Down to the river, every man has felt the shame. All our blood, it runs the same. Father, hear us as we pray. Down to the river, down to the river. Sing, oh, oh, bury me, carry me, oh, oh, far beneath, oh, oh, fire and water me, going down deep, singing, oh, oh, bury me, carry me, oh, oh, far beneath, oh, oh, fire and water me, watching me think everything
Hi, welcome to Cryptid Wilderness Research Podcast. I am CWR team member Daniel Becker here in Alaska. Joining me as always, first, my fellow host from Quincy, Washington, Matt Sleater.
Hello.
Also back with us today after a long hiatus. So happy to have him back with us. A man who needs no introduction anywhere in the municipality of Anchorage, Alaska, Paul Ayotte. Paul, welcome. So good to have you back with us.
Oh, yeah, it's good to be back. I'm glad you posted bail. That's what... sorry.
Oh, we get you out, man. We got you. So today we're going to talk about probably the second most important piece of personal footage of Bigfoot film we have out there, which is the Freeman footage. And we're going to be just having a brief discussion on what could make it a hoax and what could make it authentic. So without further ado, let's open by watching that whole original footage.
This is some of those little ones' tracks that's in here. I come back up here today to cast these. They look like they're about 9 inches long. They're pretty good little tracks. They're sure little and went right up this old trail. Run around up there to his mommy, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna mix up some plaster here and pour these. Now I got my cast made. And 4 little tracks here. .32 inches between the stride there. Yeah, I'm gonna look around a little bit more, let these dry. Sometimes they come here and get water. Yeah, it looks like they've been here. Yeah. Been one here anyway. don't know how. It looks like he's pretty fresh. Yeah, I'll go around this bush here, see what's going on here. Oh yeah, here's where, yeah, here he's come down. Oh shit, he's come down, went back up both. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he went back up the road, come down the road. Yeah, look at that. Sure have. Let me stay. Yeah, where he's come back up, went back up. Yeah. Look at that. Can't see much up through here. I hear the brush popping and stuff. Oh, there he goes. Jesus. Get up here where I can see him real quick. Get up here. Get a better picture. Where the doggone thing went? It crossed right up there. Yeah. I just wonder. It should be right here somewhere. Two of them, I guess. Man. Oh. I wonder where they went. Oh, God. Two of them. I always see them when I'm by myself. Never see them when there's anybody else with me. Pretty good. Where'd they go? Hear my heart beating 40 miles an hour. Must have went up over the hill there or something. It's so hard in here. Can't see no tracks. I'm going to look on up this road here. Maybe I can see some tracks where they come across. The one went up over the hill, looked like. The other one must have went up this road. I don't know. I don't see where it crossed here. Up this old trail. I better go back and get somebody. Wes and them.
All right, there we have it. Like I said, it's probably the second most important piece of footage that we have out there of an alleged Bigfoot. So let's approach this from both sides. Like I said, we'll talk about why it could be a hoax, and we'll talk about why it could be authentic. And then at the end, I want to hear from each of you, my fellow hosts, on what side of the fence that you are on when it comes to hoax versus authentic. So let's talk about first on why it could possibly be a hoax. What would make someone think it could be a hoax? So let's start with you, Matt Sleater in Quincy, Washington.
I kind of think somebody might think it's a hoax because of his reaction when he sees it. I have read that this is not the first time that he's had an encounter in person with a Bigfoot, but it's kind of a flat response. You know, the way he says it in the video, there doesn't seem to be a lot of surprise there. And it just, I guess we all kind of imagine sometimes what we would do if we actually saw one, and maybe it just doesn't fit people's perceptions of what they think they would do, and it doesn't match what they think the response should be, but it's pretty muted.
Right. Good point. So, Paul, what do you think about this footage? And if you were going to argue for hoax, what would be some of the things that stick out to you that would possibly make it a hoax?
Well, the fact that it was just there, he's the smaller footprints, I think, were pretty deep. However, I don't know what the small juvenile Bigfoot is supposed to weigh, but it was pretty deep as far as smaller footprints. I don't know. You usually see bigger prints that are deep like that. I would assume a smaller one's lighter. So I don't know if the ground was wet when they were made, but I assume not because it was just there. So the happenstance of it all, if I was to say, if it was a hoax,
Copy that. So for me, if I was going to take the position of hoax, I think it would have to do a lot with timing. The timing just seems too perfect, unless he was right on the heels of this alleged Sasquatch. Yeah, so that timing, sticks out to me. I know that this individual, allegedly has perpetrated some hoaxes in the past. That's up for debate. But yeah, so the timing of it all is would make me question if it was authentic. And I think that's the biggest thing. If I was going to argue for hoax, that's the biggest thing, that it just seems too perfect. I mean, it's like this is a once in a lifetime intersect.
Yeah.
It just seems too perfect with the timing. So on the other side of that coin, if you were going to fall on the side of it being authentic, Matt Sleater, what would cause you to argue for authenticity?
Well, I've watched this video a few times, and I've read, people's posts and seen interviews and stuff about this video. And apparently people have gone out to that place and have actually measured things. I've seen measurements of the tree that the being walks in front of, and those postings have shown that tree to be about 16 feet tall, and that creature is roughly halfway up that tree from where it crosses in front of it. So that would make it about 8.5 feet tall, which is pretty big. Another thing to me that lends credence to this being an authentic video is at the beginning where he's working on the footprints and pouring his casts. If you listen to the ambient sounds that are recorded on the tape, you can hear birds, you can hear things, the wind and all this stuff going on in the background. You have to listen carefully because the microphone's not very good, but it is there. And towards the end of the video, when he's actually moved on up the trail closer to the creature, and he actually has the encounter with the creature, you can't hear anything. And one of the phenomenon that's widely reported with Sasquatch encounters is the deafening silence. That they're able to use infrasound to pretty much block out everything around them, or the other creatures of the forest are just silent because they're terrified.
Yeah, those are excellent points.
Yeah.
Paul, Ayotte, let's go to you. If you were going to argue that this is an authentic video, what would lead you to believe that it's authentic?
The fact that it seems like unfortunately, we're all old enough to remember 1994 in the news back then. You know what I mean? But it wasn't all over the. He didn't make millions. You know what I mean? So it kind of he said, here it is. You know what I mean? And he didn't try to be on the Donahue back then. You know what I mean? To try to make millions. He's like, look, guys, it is what it is. So that's why I think, for the most part, it could be authentic.
So for me, if I was going to argue on the side of authenticity, a couple of things that stick out to me is obviously this is an area that he's been in before, that he's done research in before, and he makes a statement there that caught my attention, which our partners in the South, Keith Crabtree, William Lunsford, Stephen Hill, there's that saying, they always follow the creeks. Well, he makes the statement that sometimes they come here to drink. So as a researcher, it would make perfect sense to be in that area and be near that, and there's a water source there. And he points that out, that sometimes they come here to drink. So that's one thing. Also, the tracks, the deep indentations of the tracks stick out to me. And while the timing is rather perfect, it's his reaction upon the sight of the alleged Sasquatch, his excitement, it could go both ways, but his excitement and reaction and response when he sees the Sasquatch also, that stood out to me, as well as he did not stay back and try to film. He actually pursued. So if I was going to argue for the case of authenticity, the fact that he pursued the alleged Sasquatch rather than just stay back and let it walk by also stands out to me, that you don't always pursue a hoax like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the fact that he pursued would lend credence to it possibly being authentic. So if I was going to argue for authenticity, those are the things that stand out to me. But so before we get our final verdicts from my fellow hosts here, either one of you have anything else to add? Any other observations or feelings on this footage?
You were talking about the tracks, and the smaller tracks that he actually casts on video, and then the softer ground. Sure, those are pretty deep. The other tracks on the dry ground, the larger footprints, that surface is clearly hard packed dirt, and whatever created those tracks was heavy enough to actually indent hard packed dirt, which is another thing to me that lends it to being an authentic encounter, because it takes a lot of weight to push that ground down.
Yeah, I agree. So, Matt Sleater, you're going with authentic?
Oh yeah.
Copy that. Paul Ayotte, what say you, sir?
Yeah, that is interesting. The dry ground and pressing it down so deep, you know. Yeah, that. Yeah, it was just a awesome video. I think you know, for the foot or the equipment back then. Of course, you know, '94, but it certainly was clearer than you know, that I've seen today with better lenses and everything, pixels, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, it's yeah, it was pretty neat, that footage. I say, you know, yeah, until it's proven otherwise. What the heck, you know? Yeah, why not? You know.
So you vote for authentic.
I do. I do.
All right. As for me, I'm going to concur with my colleagues that I believe this to be authentic, while again pointing out the timing seems very perfect. You know, sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
and things happen. So I am going to point to authenticity. So that is my vote. So we got 3 votes for authentic.
Yeah.
But as always, you as the viewer, it's up to you it's up to you to decide whether you feel this is a hoax or not. But we're all going with authentic. Any final thoughts before we close here?
He was awfully brave. Keep running after him like that.
That is a brave guy walking right after it, you know.
And I always tell myself, if that were me in that situation, I would do the exact same thing. I would pursue and not let this moment get away. But I also understand those who say, nope, I ain't going after that thing. No way. So I understand that point too. But gentlemen, thank you so much for being on today for this brief discussion of the Freeman footage. And later on this fall, we might do a more in-depth with a few other researchers on to talk about this great piece of video. And yeah, we'll see what other people have to say. And as always, if you have a cryptid encounter and would like to be part of the show, please send us an email at cryptidwr@gmail.com. And we would love to have you on. Also, if you're a new researcher or a solo researcher that's looking for a group of researchers to connect with, we invite you to join our Cryptid Wilderness Research Network, the CWR network, and be a part of a great group that can bounce ideas off each other and mentor each other and get great guidance from experts. And there's nothing to buy, there's nothing to sell. This is just a group of people that are connected with a common goal of proving that these creatures exist. So if you're interested in being part of the CWR network, no matter where you are, no matter what your skill level is, you can email us at cryptidwr@gmail.com. So for myself, Daniel Becker in Alaska, for my fellow host, Matt Sleater in Quincy, Washington, and for the one and only Mr. Paul Ayotte in Anchorage, Alaska, thank you for joining us for this brief discussion, and we'll see you next time on the Cryptid Wilderness Research Podcast. Have a good one.